Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings. I am your host, Jeremy, as always. I just burst in here like some holy smoke, which I'm about to light in a minute. And what can I say? We are here tonight for a 90s metal show. And some good albums. Not all, but some good albums. I will say that a lot tonight, probably. But you all know my co-host, CJ Plain, a.k.a. Public Enema #1. He's back to tell you all to bring your daughter to slaughter so he could worship her to Mother Russia as always. The music god himself, everybody.
Hey, I'm here. Kind of. Partially. Sort of. Maybe.
He's a figment of your imagination. But, of course, folks, we can't do this show without a guest, like always. And our guest tonight, well, it was supposed to be last week, but our guest tonight, I've been waiting for this one for a while now. Welcome, Mr. Andy Grant, host of the Real Men Feel podcast and another founding member of the New England Podcasters Group, just like your old favorite host here. And we're actually locally relevant to each other, so that's a first in this show. But welcome, buddy. I'm glad to get you on both my shows now.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's funny. I've never been called locally relevant before, so I like that term.
Well, it works in this case. I don't know the exact mileage, but I'm pretty sure it's under 5 miles away from each other. So, but folks, what a night every night. But first things first, I'll let Andy have a second to tell you about his podcast.
Yeah, so Real Men Feel exists to remind men that they're human beings. I believe that silence kills men. So we try to break the stigma of men asking for help. It's all about men's mental health, preventing suicides, and sometimes just talking about whatever cool shit comes my way. It's got 357 episodes, and it feels like 357 more to come.
It never ends. It never ends. I honestly don't think I don't think I got that many with any of my podcasts actually, but close on the other show. But the show has years to go till we get to that. I'm pretty sure. But go check it out, folks. I've heard a lot of clips of it. I don't get time to actually listen to a full podcast episode ever, but I have listened to clips on LinkedIn at work all the time, and it keeps me interested. And that's saying something.
Cool.
And we have feelings? Who knew? Well, Andy, what album did you want to bring us tonight, and why did you want to bring this one? Because I honestly am so fucking curious about the reasoning behind this.
Oh, so I brought Death Angel Act 3. Death Angel is really kind of the last of the thrash bands that I really liked that I never saw live, but I'm seeing them this December because they're playing Act 3 in its entirety. They're going on tour with my favorite album. This is my favorite album from them, and they're on tour with the whole thing, so that's why it was my choice.
Ooh, all right. Is it gonna be in Worcester or Boston?
Yeah,
or
Worcester Palladium. Yep.
If I can actually get out of this fucking house for a night, I might have to go because that would be awesome to see this album live.
Friday night. Yeah.
Oh, it's this Friday?
No, it's Friday. It's the first Friday in December.
Ooh, maybe. I was gonna push to see Lord of the Lost at the Palladium in January. But maybe I can go see this too. We'll see. See if I can get my wife to be in a good mood and good enough mood to take care of 3 kids at least. But well, I actually think I'm gonna let CJ go first in this one.
Okay. What do you want to know? One of the top 5 best thrash metal records from that era. First band that was all Filipino on a major label. 3/5 of the original band are still together. Mark is also the lead singer for Kerry King's new project. I was happy to see this choice, and it's if I had to make a top 5 of that era for records, this would be one of the records. This would be number 1, but unfortunately, it is not on streaming anywhere. Their second record is, but this is one of the greatest thrash records you will ever hear. For those of you that have never heard it, it's a band called Cyclone Temple. They have a record, came out in 1991. It's called I Hate, Therefore I Am. It is everything that is great about thrash metal. It has all the elements of Slayer and Death Angel and Creator and bands like Hyrix and bands like Destruction and just one of the most flawless thrash records. But unfortunately, they were on a minor label, and as minor labels do, the ball was whatnot. And anywho, this is a brilliant record, top to bottom.
Cool.
It's
that album's not on YouTube, CJ?
No, their second one is on there. It's on YouTube, but it's like just one single file of like
all I hate when they do that. You actually
it's not on YouTube Music, it's not on Apple Music or any of the things for some reason.
Yeah.
Greg has never. I'm actually friends with the guy who wrote it and plays guitar and all that. His you can find him on Facebook under the name of Sweet Diesel Jenkins. He basically does mashup music now. He takes like R&B songs and mashes them up with like rock songs. But he has never been able to get to legal rights from. They were signed to Relativity, and Relativity folded into this label, into this label, into this label. They've been unable to secure the rights to actually put it for streaming. So you can find their second record, My Friend Lonely, but not I Hate, Therefore I Am. So, but they did tour with Death Angel. They toured with so many great bands over the years. And Greg is one of the funniest guys you will ever talk to. Like I tell Greg all the time, dude, you should be in movies because the shit that he says, like he's a doorman now. He works like door in a building in Chicago. And the stories he tells, he's like, standing outside, and old Reverend Itchy Pickle come walking through with Walmartavius Jenkins and Letitia Walmart. And it's just like, dude, the shit you come up with for the people that you meet and the way he like caricatures them. I was like, dude, you seriously need to write a fucking book or a TV show or something. Cause it was like, it's like Wayne's Family funny, and it's just like, I love that dude. But anywho, I don't mean to get off track.
He should do a damn podcast. That's where it is.
I tried to convince him he wants nothing to do with it. He's, as in his own words, he is an analog dude in a digital world. So he is very much the old school Fender Strat and Marshall amp type of guy with no pedals or distortion, just letting the Marshalls speak for what Marshalls do. Good enough for me. So
I can respect that.
Yeah,
the digital world is horrible. But we all have to we're all forced to live in it. Actually, Andy's news episode just kind of deals with that topic about how social media destroys us all. But it's the clip I saw. I was like, "Yep, I agree with this 150%." Actually, I was talking on a show to a guy about it yesterday too. Won't be releasing for a while, but we had a good conversation about it. But I never heard of this band. I never heard of Death Angel. Maybe the name I heard, but I never actually listened to them. Holy fuck, I'm impressed by them because thrash metal is usually not like my biggest thing, but they kind of, I almost call what they have like harmonic, like thrash metal, because it's not like that. It's not that super fast shit where you can't understand a word they're saying, where it's like the Ramones but heavier. It's actually like enjoyable, and the lyrics are geniusly written. I love the lyrics. Like that's. Yeah. I mean, I could see so many bands I like nowadays taking influence from like this band and probably bands like them, but this band I could hear like definitely elements of certain bands in them. Fun as hell album. listening to it again today on the way home, I was just enjoying the whole thing, and I was like, "Damn!" There's a couple songs here I didn't have on my like list already that are on my like list now. Like shit. And it's funny because I looked at my top 5 top 7, but top 5 when I got done with it, and I'm like, yeah, it still holds up. I didn't have to change a damn thing. I'm like, it still holds up. So, all
I
right.
mean, there's an entire metal scene in the Philippines because of these guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're all cousins and a few brothers, but yeah, this was their major label debut and their only major label release because then grunge came and just killed them. So they were dropped, months.
I mean, they're still around. They've released like 3 records over the past 7-8 years, but
yeah. I found them again in 2019 with that release. I'm like, oh shit, I like this too. So
Inhumane Condition, I think it is.
Or something like that. But I first got into them in Frolic in the Park and Ultraviolence, and then this came out, and it was so slickly produced and just the production.
Humanicide, that's what I'm thinking of. Humanicide is a really great record.
Yeah,
it's really updated their sound, but and there was a time period where Death Angel and Dark Angel kind of, people confuse them a lot because they were very similar, but they were also pretty different. But the names, so they kind of got plugged into a lot of the same places at the same time.
And as Jerry
San Francisco,
Death Angel is so much more melodic and deep than you would think just from the title.
I mean, when you first sent it, and I saw Death Angel, I was like, "What?" I'm like, "You said 80s metal. What kind of 80s metal am I getting myself into here?" I'm like, "There's a lot of 80s metal versions." And I'm like, "What the hell is this?" But I listened to a couple songs. I was like, "All right, I got a basis to go off of."
This is not my force on people when I'm in long road trips and they think they know like 80s music and 90s music. I'm like, "Do you know Death Angel?"
That's me, bro. Like when people say, "I know 80s music," let's test that theory. What do you really know? Tell me what you know about Shark Island, Spread Eagle, the Demaus. Tell me what you know about Cyclone Temple and Artillery and Dark Angel and what do you know about just so many bands. What do you know about Violence and where did Rob Flynn start? Because it was not with Machine Head. And people start looking at me like, what are you talking about? Yeah, see, you don't know 80s metal. You think you know 80s metal, but some of us were
there. I mean, hell, we did a freaking 80s metal bracket, and I'm pretty sure not one damn band just name was on it. So, let's definitely wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of Priest. It was a lot of Priest, but
like I said, I'm not counting for taste.
No, and I do not make the rankings, so yeah. But here's the part where I want this. This is the part I want to see. What are your top 5 songs off that album, Andy?
Pretty much in order, because again, I this is an album I put on and I played all the way through, and I just think it starts strong, stays strong. So yeah, Seemingly Endless Time, Stop, Veil of Deception, The Organization, Discontinued, and then I even went 6 as Room of the View is just a gorgeous freaking song. I couldn't ignore it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. What about you, CJ?
First one is Stagnant. Second one is Veil of Deception. Number 3 is Seemingly Endless Time. Number 2 is Room with a View, because long before Testament did Return to Serenity, long before Metallica did what they did, Death Angel were one of the first thrash bands to have a song that started with acoustic guitar and the epic sound. So, all of you fans of One and all of that type of stuff can thank Death Angel. And my favorite one, though, is Disturbing the Peace. There's something about that song, man. It's got that breakdowns in it that, that good old school 80s thrash. Like when you,
and that's why I forget
when you wanted to break into the pit, that was the type of song that
Like I said, I usually just play this in order. So when I get deep, I'm like, oh, I forget this just doesn't let down. And that's a great tune.
Yeah. There's something about Disturbing the Peace. You're definitely right about that. Yeah, I had two honorable mentions. Seemingly Endless Time and Stop. Fucking Stop is what really made me start to like this album. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like fucking. Number 5 was Stagnant. That song is phenomenal, and it reminds me of like a heavier version of like Led Zeppelin instrumentals, which I had to sit through a lot of those in the last couple months. So shit, like I definitely can hear some Led Zeppelin in there, like influence maybe, but it's freaking heavier and freaking amazing. The drums in that song are so fucking good. I literally was driving into the freaking Walmart in our town tonight, just like banging to it through the park. Everybody's looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" But my number 4 was Discontinued. That was the lyrics in that song were really freaking amazing. Disturbing the Peace is number 3. Disturbing the Peace is like. Go ahead, CJ.
No, I'm laughing. Go ahead.
Disturbing the Peace, like you're right. It's kind of like a metal theme song in a way, almost like it's kind of like a better version of Breaking the Law, because that's Breaking the Law is just too simple to me. It's just like, yeah, it's got good music, but like you don't need to just scream Breaking the Law over and over again with nothing else in between. Really, like it's you're not trying hard. But number 2 is The Organization, because paranormal podcasts are conspiracy theories about these secret sex and groups. That's right my alley. I freaking love that. And number 1 was Falling Asleep, mainly for the music, not solely, but mainly for the music, because the music in Falling Asleep is phenomenal. The drum and guitars like duo at the end of it is fucking. As a man who used to be a drummer, that freaking made me smile when I heard that. I was like, ooh. I'm like, damn, this is almost like Cradle of Filth drummer style. I'm like, I could dig this. So yeah, I mean, overall, freaking outstanding album. Death Angel is actually on my list of Spotify artists to check out now. So it's on it's a huge list. Eventually, I'll get there, but at some point,
I will add quickly that after they broke up after this record, between 91 and like 98, Rob, or Mark the singer, and Rob the guitar player actually formed a new band called The Organization, and it was more of a funk thrash type of thing. And I swear Google tracks us through our phones what we're saying, because I just mentioned Cyclone Temple, and I opened up my Facebook, and the very first person on there is Greg from Cyclone Temple. He's the guitar player. He's the guy. That's the guy that wrote everything for Cyclone Temple. So if you need another reason to listen to it, yes, a big, massive black dude wrote a thrash record in 1991, and it's fucking awesome. I like calling him the Chuck D of thrash, because that's really what that record is. There's a song in there called "March for Me, Die for Me" that you'd swear was like a Chuck D thrash song. So, anywho, that's what I was laughing at, because I opened that up and I was there, and I was like,
it was actually Kiss that got me into Death Angel, because they covered Old Gin, and that got mentioned in some probably Kerrang that I read when Frolic Through the Park came out.
They did cover it.
Nice. Yeah. I like Body Count, so I would definitely listen to an African American thrash band. That's freaking Body Count. I gotta bring Body Count in here sometime. I always forget.
Yeah, that first album could have been one I threw your way easily. That's one I listened to and love and bring out.
They're still good, dude. Like Ice-T is so. I love Ice-T.
He can do anything.
Him and Henry Rollins are like my fucking musical idols, because they're so, just two guys that shouldn't be rock and roll heroes, but they've basically just kicked in every door that anybody's ever closed in their face and said, "Fuck you, I'm coming in whether you want me here or not." So, I'm just like, but yeah, I love Ice.
Well, CJ, and I asked this with chagrin, what album did you want to bring us tonight?
Well, originally I wanted to bring you Cyclone Temple, but since it's not on streaming because record labels are bitches, I brought a record. I went through a list of probably 1,000 records. There were many candidates: Corrosion of Conformity, Blind, one of the Dark Angel records, Coma of Souls by Creator. Those were kind of all like low-hanging fruit because they're records that pretty much everybody knows. I wanted to bring something that was a little off the beaten path, but kind of attached to stuff on the beaten path. So I brought you Exhorter. Now I realize 99% of people will like this band more for their second record than their first one. But their first one is called Slaughter in the Vatican. It's a heavier record than their second one. Their second one leaned more into a sound that they started on this one. And if you've ever listened to Pantera, you can thank Exhorter because pretty much everything Phil did vocally on Cowboys from Hell came from this record and their second record, The Law. And if you listen to their second record, it's probably the greatest Pantera record that Pantera never recorded. Even though it came out 8 months before Cowboys from Hell, people won't look at that fact and they ripped off Pantera. Well, not really, because see, they were from Louisiana and Phil's from Louisiana, and Phil was a fan of the band but won't admit he was a fan of the band, so you know. But anywho, we're not going to go into all that. Exhorter, Slaughter in the Vatican. And yes, I know it's not going to be to everybody's taste, but that's okay.
Well, Andy, what did you think of Exhorter?
I could not get through this album, but I liked the music. I did. There's plenty of tracks that the groove grabbed me. The lyrics I couldn't take. What was it? Desecrator. I wrote my notes were laughably bad lyrics. So Jeremy, so I'm in something called the Modern Mystery School, which involves a number of initiations into the light, and I'm an energy healer. And since I've come back from some of those trips to Toronto, I remember I first came home from a week of healing, and my wife was watching hockey, and there was a fight. I was like, oh my God. I was like horrified by this hockey fight. I was like, what's happened to me? But some of the things that have happened to me are like horror films have me extra strong. And some songs like Slaughter in the Vatican, they level of repulsion I have not experienced before. Without listening to anything, I'm trying to think, but I said, so they made me think of they would be in great opening band to me because I couldn't understand the lyrics and I got the music and then I'd forget about them before the night was over. But number one, Anal Lust. That was the song I could most like. Again, funny.
And that before we get into the songs, that was one song. That was one of the reasons I chose it because I wanted to give Jeremy something to just totally like, either love or hate. Like I knew that song title was gonna grab him one way or the other, and he was gonna have like a really strong opinion on that song.
God damn you, CJ, using my love for Anal Lust against me.
But
yeah, I thought that, and again, the music, I loved it. If that was all instrumental, I'd listen to that all the time.
On their second record, they leaned away from the lyrics like they did on this one, and they're more like much more mainstream, more like Corrosion of Conformity style stuff. So they did grow a lot between this record and the second one, but I went with this one just for the shock value, pretty much.
Yeah. And
well,
we succeeded.
See, I know Exhorter because they've been in brackets we've done before. I think they were in the
they were one of the ones I was on. You had one of their songs. It was from The Law, though.
I think It might have been the serial killer bracket, maybe, or I don't think it was 80s metal songs. That could be no. This is 90s. It wouldn't have been 80s metal songs. It had to be a serial killer bracket. It wouldn't have been in the goth song bracket. I don't think. But anyway, I kind of was like, oh, Exhorter, cool. I think I like that one song I heard at one time, and then I put in this album, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, did Chancey come back from the abyss already? What the fuck? Why am I getting albums like this again? And it's oh god. I mean, musically they sound great. The lyrics aren't bad even. It's just they don't mix together. They really don't. Like it's like you gave some teenagers a bunch of instruments and said, play and scream as loud as you can. And they just went off and did it.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they were all like 17 and 18 at the time of this record. So
it makes sense.
Young and inexperienced, and we're from Louisiana. Louisiana is not really known for its metal scene, you know. So, I mean, next to the shit that Phil does in Crowbar,
I mean, it's,
you know.
I mean, I even listened to half this. I listened to half this album again today just to see if maybe a fresh take on it would give me a better view. I was like, okay, this is a shitty way to end my last 15 minutes of work today. Fuck. So, I mean, I managed to squeeze out a top 3, and that's basically as far as I can go. It may be one of the first times in the history of this show I haven't been able to get a top 5. So, just saying. But so
no, I'm going to be completely honest. I went through that whole list, and I chose this one. And then after I went back and listened to it, I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't as good as I remember it being. I should have. After I couldn't do the Cyclone Temple, Corrosion and Conformity Blind was one that I was like really leaning towards. But I was kind of like, everybody knows that one because it has Vote with a Bullet and Dance of the Dead on it and whatnot. And I was like, I'll go with this one. And then when I listened to it, I was kind of like,
see.
Yeah. It wasn't a great choice. No. I get it.
See, I swear to God, I will bring on Gore in a future episode, and I will not hear shit about them that's negative because I will just remind you of this fucking album. So,
motherfucker, don't even start. You have brought on shit that has been completely unlistenable. As far as
I know not what you referenced, sir.
I'll have to go back and get the names of at least 2 hip hop things that brought in.
If we're talking hip hop, then yeah, I know what you're talking about. I thought you meant metal. I'm like, I have not brought any bad metal, sir. At least in my opinion. But
no, like I said, this. If we were to do a do-over, I absolutely wouldn't pick this one. After I listened to it a second time, I remember my brain remembered it being a much better record. And then I listened to it and was like, okay. Then I listened to the second one and I thought, yeah, I think I was thinking of the second one and not the first one. Because the second one is very Cowboys from Hell-ish. So it was kind of like, okay, it's cool. Give me all the shit you want. I missed on this one, so.
Well, I felt bad for only getting 4 songs, but if you gave up at 3, I'm like, damn, I sold you on.
I couldn't find a fucking 4th song I wanted to put on the list. It was just like, oh my god, like
yeah. I put Homicide as 4th just because it was the second shortest song. That was the only reason I ranked it.
That's hilarious.
That's fair.
But all right. So CJ, what were your top 5? If you got 5, even I don't know if you did.
From 1 to 5, I have Slaughter in the Vatican, Homicide, Death in Vain, The Tragic Period, and Anal Lust. Just because those are kind of the heavier songs and thrashier songs. But again, having re-listened to this record, I probably would go with the top 3 and go 4 and 5 off. So yeah, I'm with y'all. Like I said, I missed totally with this one.
I'm done. I'm done here with Andy's top 4 or see if they match.
So Anal Lust, number 2, Slaughter in the Vatican, number 3, Desecrator, which I really liked. It had an opening groove that I was like, all right, this is good, but then it was all eat my shit, I piss in your grave, and I'm like, all right, I can't take this. And then Homicide was the second shortest, and that was the one. Yeah, like again, I like the music, but just the lyrics just I just felt gross. But I'm glad they changed. I'm like, how can you have a career like just how many things can you murder?
Yeah, I think what it was, truthfully, when they started, I think they wanted to be a death metal band. And somewhere along the line, somebody probably said, not heavy enough to be a death metal band, and these lyrics don't go with where you're at. So you're either going to have to keep the lyrics and get much heavier, or you're going to have to musically stay where you're at and change lyrically. And I think they chose the latter of dumping the lyrical content for new stuff and sort of staying in that thrash vein. Yeah. Just because, I think they were going at the time that this come out. Deicide had just come out with their first record. Morbid Angel had just come out with the Covenant record. So I think they were going for that more Tampa style. They just didn't have the heaviness of it, and they made a smart move. They're still around, and they're actually a much improved band now.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, this was an example of not having a good direction in the beginning, and me just
not
remembering it right. I guess
it's like it's like Rage. I mean, their first two albums were not good, and then their fourth or fifth album, they finally got together and got good. But
the point of any band is to grow and improve. There's stuff that I recorded in the early days that I listen to now and I cringe. Like, oh shit, did I really record that? It was shock value only is what it was. And, you look back on it and you say, ooh, wish I could take that back. You can't. It's out there.
Well, if you're ready, CJ, because actually I can give you a top 4 for this one. Because I could put Slaughter in the Vatican at 4. I like the beginning of that song. And my number 3 is Homicide. My number 2 is Exorder, and my number 1 has to be Anal Lust. Because I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Knowing I was going to freaking run with that. If I actually wrote it, if I actually had time to write an intro to this episode, trust me, that would have been used against you in some shape or form. 100%. I even had that line like freaking in my head at that point, but I just never got around to writing an intro today. But
no, I look, I'm not perfect, and I've brought a lot of really good records, so I was due to have one that just missed the mark, and this one wide left. In the words of old Don Adams from Get Smart, missed it by that much. So,
and which brings it. Okay, I totally fucked that up, but it brings it to me for this one now, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a dilemma trying to think of what to bring for this episode because I'm like, there's so many options for like early '90s, '80s metal. I almost wanted to bring like modern stuff that has an '80s feel to it, just to kind of like show that the '80s still exists. I mean, hell, CJ, I'm happy I did because of what I'm bringing next week. But I almost brought Chris Harm's solo album because it's not quite '80s metal, but it's in that realm. But I was like, you know what? I looked at the year 1990 and I saw one album and it kept sticking to me. And I finally looked at the track list and I'm like, I got a choice. And I'm like, this has been one of my favorite bands since I got into metal in high school. It's one of the bands that got me into metal. And two of the songs in this album got me into it. So I was like, fuck, I gotta bring this. I can't believe I haven't brought it yet. I decided to bring Iron Maiden's No Prayer for the Dying album. It's definitely not the best album they've ever done, but it's a phenomenal album. They really don't do wrong. I mean, I can't think of an album I don't like by them, but this is one that just really impressed the hell out of me today. I haven't heard a lot of the songs on it, so. I mean, I'm a huge fan of their newer albums from like 2008 on. Like their newer albums are just phenomenally done. The storytelling in them is so good with like their 15-minute songs. But gotta love it. But No Prayer for the Dying. This album surprised me. I've been surprised by 70s and 80s bands before when I hear albums I never heard in full before, and Iron Maiden didn't disappoint. But I think it's only the second time they've been brought in this show, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still a really deep well to tap. I think they had like 20 albums at least. But what did you think of No Prayer for the Dying, Andy?
Yeah, I certainly knew Iron Maiden. My fandom probably peaked with Power Slave, so I'm much from early career. Bring Your Total to the Slaughter was the only song I knew I had heard before. But and I liked it. There's just, it's full of traditional. Yeah, this is Maiden, and there's a couple changes of pace, and I thought it, again, solid, like you're saying, but not their best.
It's funny because that's the other album that got brought in the show, was Power Slave. But I brought that on a long time ago. But
yeah, that's the last time I saw them live. Was that was the only time I saw Maiden live.
I would love to see Maiden live. It's on my wish list for bands I need to see before they die, because they'll die before I do. But I'm hoping, hopefully at least. But CJ, what did you think of No Prayer for the Dying?
So let me start by saying the very first concert I ever attended, in 1982, was Iron Maiden opening for 38 Special, who opened for Rainbow. Still one of the oddest pairing of bands of any concert I've attended. I've attended some shows that had some pretty odd, pairings, but the British new wave metal band opening for the Southern rock band, who was opening for the progressive metal band, was pretty crazy. It was a Number of the Beast tour, which was Bruce's first. It was also the first record that Joe Lynn had sang with Rainbow. So all of the bands other than 38 Special had new singers, new everything going on. It was a odd tour. I like Maiden. Maiden's not my favorite. I kind of have a love-hate with Maiden. Like I find a lot with Maiden I either really like or I really don't like. So there are those records that I really like and those that I really don't like. And there's not a lot of middle ground. There's not a lot of Maiden where I'll say, that's okay. Is that a really good or really bad? I love Andrew to death, but him and I are on completely opposite sides of the fact that I think X Factor and Virtual 11 are two of the worst metal records ever recorded. Fucking terrible. Blaze is a good singer, just not a good singer for Maiden. No disrespect to Andrew if he hears this, but I would never. If the universe is kind, I will never hear those two records again in my life. But
I will be bringing them on. I don't fucking think it's Maiden unless it's Bruce. So,
Peace of Mind is a record that I adore. To Fear of the Dark is another record that I listen to.
I brought that one on too. Now, actually, not that long ago. So okay, yeah. There's been three Maiden records brought on.
Fear of the Dark is just one of those super catchy records. This is a good record. It's got a good balance of songs you recognize and songs you don't recognize, but they're still good. It was the first record that had Janet playing guitar because Adrian had left. But then Adrian came back, and now they have all three of them. So it's a good record. It's a 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than Power Slave in my opinion. Power Slave to me was an okay record when I did it. Even though I brought it, I was like, this record's got like 2 or 3 good tracks, and the rest are all just throwaways. But this album blew me away. Same as Fear of the Dark. This is actually better.
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is the one that I just don't.
I
know everybody loves that record. I know everybody just hypes on that record, but that is just one of them records that I've never connected to that record. And
I don't know that record in full. I don't think.
It's the one that came out directly before this one. It's a concept record. It's a big, sweeping, epic record. A lot going on, and it's just one of them records where, I just never really connect to it personally. I don't think it's nearly as great as people claim it to be. You'll hear people say, "Oh, it's the greatest Maiden record."
No. I mean, you want the greatest Maiden record? Go listen to Life and Times. That's the fucking best Maiden record by far. Every song that has a fucking banger. But that was the first new Maiden album I ever got, and it was freaking, oh my god, it blew me away. Like, I knew old Maiden, but I heard new Maiden, I was like, dude, this is a whole new realm. But anyway, same as Death Angel, I had 7 for this one. 2 honorable mentions are Public Enemy #1 and Fate's Warning. Public Enemy #1 was when Maiden does like their kind of funny songs, it's always a fun thing. And Fate's Warning, I didn't like the first time I heard this album. Then I heard it again on headphones today, and I'm like, oh, okay, I actually really like the guitar in this song, so I'll throw it on there. My number 5 is Tail Gunner. I don't know fucking why, but anytime Iron Maiden does a song about flying something, it always is phenomenal. Like, climb into the sky, never wonder why. Like, it's like Aces High. It's like the Flight of Icarus. A song they do about being in the sky is. That's their dream or something. It has to be, because they freaking have such passion for that.
Their songs written by a guy who's a pilot.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, they have what is it, Air Force Eddie or where the hell it is?
Yeah, like Bruce is literally certified to fly 747s and above. So,
yeah.
I mean,
it makes sense. It makes sense, and I think he regrets never getting into the army to be a gunner pilot or anything, something like that. I think that's his thing. But my number 4 was Run Silent. my number 4 was Run Silent, Run Deep. I didn't like that one the first time I heard it either, but I heard today on the headphones. I was like, ooh, it's got a fun tempo to it. I could dig the shit out of this song. Number 3 is Mother Russia. I think I've heard that one before. I honestly don't know. It sounds familiar, but it's such a good song. The Russian, the guitar sang like a Russian theme song almost, is fucking phenomenal. Blew me away. The top 2 are songs I fucking have loved for generations because they were on the first CD I got from Maiden, and that was King Edward the Greatest Hits. So both these were on it. Number 2 is Holy Smoke, because, I mean, I used to hate that song when I was younger, but then when I got older, I heard the lyrics, and I was like, oh, okay, I know what this is about now. I fucking love this song, because I hate organized religion, and this song just blows organized religion out of the water. And the whole freaking I've lived and felt, I lived in sin, that still smell better than the shit you're in line is perfect. Like, Bruce delivers it so fucking well. But Holy Smoke is definitely amazing. I forgot about that. I didn't realize it was on this album until it wasn't even the reason I picked this album. But my number 1 is because I saw this and I'm like, this was the first Maiden song I really fucking dug and really got into, and the music video for it is kind of creepy as shit. So, like, my number 1 is "Bring Your Daughter to a Slaughter" because I love that song. To me, that is pure number 1 Maiden song of all time. I mean, if we're talking live, then "Fear the Dark" is going up there for competition. But for album tracks, this is the number 1 Maiden song of all time, and the fact that it was written for a freaking Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So, like, I just love it. The chanting in the middle of it, like, when I was in high school, I used to think it was the creepiest song ever. Now it's just like, it pales in comparison to shit nowadays, but it still, like, just holds up as such an amazing song. It's classic, fucking 90s metal. But what were your top 5 there, Andy?
So again, more, especially compared to the last album, a lot more to choose from. Some honorable mentions. Run Silent, Run Deep. I really dug that. But for number 5 for me, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. I've never met anyone talk about this as their favorite Maiden song ever, which is funny to me. It's like a catchy, funny, poppier version of Maiden than I've heard anywhere else. So
I mean, it reminds me of Ozzy in a lot of ways because the way they deliver the lyrics in it, like it's very like Ozzy-esque.
Yeah. Number 4, Public Enemy. Number 1, to me, classic Maiden feel, catchy enough. Again, I really like the music more. I thought the lyrics are a little bit heavy-handed and on the nose, which just is a problem with people that are really trying to tell stories. Number 3, Holy Smokes. But I laugh. So I played this track 3 times. I laughed every time. The opening lick, it's the Friends theme song. All I can hear, and then the music, then the song really kicks in. But I'm like, how is this? I've never heard anyone mention that this is the Friends theme song, but it was to me. Number 2, No Prayer for the Dying. Classic Maiden epic. I thought it was a nice change of pace in the album. And number 1 for me was Tail Gunner. That just grabbed me first play. You know, that great galloping Maiden bass line that's in so many of the songs that I love the most. And yeah, Flying and Aces High is probably one of my favorite Maiden songs. So it was close enough, but not the same. So that was my number 1.
Yeah, Aces High. That song's just phenomenal. But CJ, what were your top 5?
Let me add real quick. If you ever get a chance to see Bruce solo show, he's got a couple songs in his solo records that are phenomenal live. Balls to Picasso is a great live song. But more than any of them, I don't want to be a tattooed millionaire. That's a fucking killer live song. It is so melodic and fun. When he sings that live, you can see on his face that he's just having a good fucking time up there. But anyways, Tail Gunner's number 5. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter's number 4. Public Enemy number 1. My top 2 though are The Assassin and Run Silent, Run Deep. I really like Run Silent, Run Deep.
I know it was like a hidden.
This record.
It's like a hidden gem that no one talks about that's on this record. Like I never heard anybody mention that song to me ever when I mentioned Maiden. And I mean, The Assassin, I knew that song from like people referencing it, but I'm like, and it's an okay song. I'm not a huge fan of it. I expected a little something more dramaful for them doing a song called The Assassin, but Maiden either is doing fast tracks that are powerful as shit, or they're doing storytelling, and those tracks last a while. So you get both of them. You can't pick and choose which one you want. But I'm honestly happy I brought this album, and I'm actually looking. I look forward to it as much as I was looking forward to my album tomorrow, because my album tomorrow is phenomenal. But well, folks, we brought you your albums thrice once again, and I know we've been on Metal Binge lately. Maybe we'll get back into rap eventually, or maybe we'll be forced to go into other genres we don't like doing too much. But we still haven't been forced in the country, thank God. But I don't.
You kind of are tomorrow. The one I brought's a little bit country tomorrow.
I could deal with a little bit country. I like Jelly Roll.
Yeah,
I like Jelly Roll.
Southern rock with just small touches of country. The record I brought tomorrow, you know the main thing that attracted me to them? They have a guitar player, and when you look at his picture, I swear to God, he is the twin of Danny Masterson.
Oh, shit.
I saw a video, and when I saw it, I was like, dude, that's Hyde playing guitar. Like, he's got the fucking hair and everything. Now, he's cut it now. He doesn't look as much like him. But in the early stuff, I just couldn't help but think, like, that's cool. Like, this Southern rock band has Hyde playing guitar.
Wow.
I sort of became a fan.
I'm sure nowadays he doesn't want to.
He ain't playing anything now.
Well, we'll learn more about that tomorrow. That's for damn sure. Yeah, folks, 2 episodes 1 week. You're lucky. But we want to thank Andy for coming on. We've had a blast talking metal with him, and like we say to a lot of guests, you're welcome back any fucking time because there's always more music to talk about and always other favorite albums. So, and 80s metal is something we always can return to. We don't ever mind that. But so, Andy,
I promise
where
I'll do better next time.
CJ needs redemption, god damn it.
Yeah, he
But
does.
I'll listen to my instinct more next time. What I should have brought is.
But I am going to look for Cyclone Temple. I had not heard of them either. So
Yeah. Oh, it's phenomenal, dude. I don't know if I got the sticker up here or not. Let me see. There's my Jelly Roll one. That's links. There's another band to look for if you ever get a chance. That's my friend's band. They're like Opeth. Chris does really sweeping, like, yeah, I don't have their sticker up here, I guess.
well,
yeah,
they're out there.
The other band I was gonna bring, if for some reason Death Angel was banned, I was gonna go with Love Hate Blackout in the Red Room.
Oh wow! Now there you go.
I'll listen all the way through, and I don't meet many people that know them at all. So
yeah, that's Kizzy's.
You'll struggle. You'll struggle to find stuff that CJ doesn't know. Trust me. But that's a challenge I face every week, and I never really succeed. But I think I brought one band that he didn't know. That's only because they're new. But
you brought a couple that
maybe ones you maybe not familiar, but you knew them by name at least. But Andy, where can they find you if they want to find your podcast?
realmenfeel.org is the website, but we're on the show is on every platform there is, and you can watch us on YouTube. And yeah, tune in, cry, laugh, whatever, feel something, hate it, I don't care, but check it out. Real Men Feel.
Because real men feel hate sometimes too. But
yeah. Actually, so music related, I got to meet Metallica in April up in Toronto, and I told him about the podcast, and Lars gave me a verbal commitment that because Metallica has a movie called Metallica Saved My Life coming out this fall, that someone from Metallica would come on the show. So worlds will collide, hopefully.
Well, but shit, there you go. And feel free to throw me a bone and tell me that I love them on our show too. But where can they find you, CJ?
music.cjplaying.rocks is the website. And soon to be, we're going to have 2 books coming out. As I've stated before, we have the horror comedy fiction book called All Men Are Cremated Equal. And we have the 80s hair metal book, the Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda, 50 bands that should have been huge, but and speaking of Love Hate, they will be in there along with Spread Eagle, Shark Island, the Demals, Sea Hags, and so many other outstanding bands that should have been much more popular than Motley Crue and Dokken, who were both fucking terrible. But
you shut your mouth about Motley Crue, but
fuck Motley Crue.
I love Motley Crue, except for when that fucking asshole took over for Generation Swine. But
Long
I
album.
hate that album.
Dude, I've corrected you on this.
Yeah, Vince was back in Generation Swine.
Vince was on Generation Swine. John came in on the self-titled record. It was the best thing that Crew has done. Yes. Dude, name me a better fucking guitar riff than Smoke the Sky. Smoke the Sky, that guitar riff in Smoke the Sky is fucking massive.
Dr. fucking Feelgood.
Fuck that song.
I have never listened to that Motley Crue album because it's not Motley Crue.
Exactly.
Here's the thing, and I'll make this very short. I agree that record should have been released under a different name. What Nikki did with DJ Ashba and Nathan for 6 a.m. is what they should have done with that record.
Yeah.
Had they done that, that record would have gotten everything that it deserved. It is a great record. Karabi is awesome. But in the technical sense, it's really not a crew record. And Nicky and Tommy are two of the most pompous pieces of shit.
I might have a surprise coming for you in the next few weeks, but yeah.
You ain't gonna surprise me with my crew. I know their records like the back of my hand. Like
you're gonna go John Karabi, come on.
Yeah, right.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you can find both your musers. You can find both your musers and everything the musers have done in the past on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot, on X and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard, and on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings. The best place to see everything we've ever done. All 300 something, not 300, all 100 plus episodes. Come back tomorrow for another great show, and we'll see you. After that, you'll find out what's coming next. So come back tomorrow for another great show. And thank you, Andy, for coming on. We will see you all tomorrow. Well, tomorrow. I'm not used to saying that. Fuck.
Stay up all night.
Yeah, right. I have a fucking 10-month-old. That's possible. Don't say that. See y'all tomorrow.